Overnight, a wave of new attacks in the Middle East as U.S. Central Command reveals more than 50,000 U.S. troops are now in the region, up from 35,000 previously reported. And now we're seeing the faces of some of the first American casualties of this war in Iran. Captain Cody Cork, Sergeant First Class Nicola Moore, Sergeant First Class Noah Tegens, and Sergeant Declan Cody, all from an Army Reserve unit in Des Moines, Iowa. They were among 6 Americans killed after an Iranian drone hit a tactical operations center in Kuwait. The U.S. commander in the Middle East now sharing in-depth details about the ongoing U.S. operations.
Many of you may remember the shock and awe strikes of 2003. The first 24 hours of this operation were nearly double the scale. We've already struck nearly 2,000 targets with more than 2,000 munitions.
Admiral Brad Cooper says U.S. airstrikes have destroyed hundreds of Iran's ballistic missiles, launchers, and drones.
We are also sinking the Iranian Navy, the entire Navy. Thus far, we've destroyed 17 Iranian ships, including the most operational Iranian submarine that now has a hole in its side.
Cooper also acknowledging the one-way attack drones that U.S. forces are using have ties to Iran itself.
I'd like to point out these drones were originally an Iranian design. We took them back to America, made them better, and fired them right back at Iran.
Iran now escalating attacks on American interests in the region. An Iranian drone slamming into the U.S. consulate in Dubai. The U.S. Embassy in Jordan also targeted. A British warplane shooting down this drone over Jordan, and drone strikes also shutting down the U.S. Embassy in Saudi Arabia. An Iranian missile hitting the largest U.S. base in the Middle East in Qatar. No injuries reported. Now questions are being raised about the amount of artillery on both sides of the conflict. Military officials say it takes 2 or 3 interceptors to shoot down one ballistic missile. And experts predict Iran has a stockpile of more than 2,000. That's fueling concern that Iran's supply of cheap drones could exhaust the multi-million-dollar interceptor systems of the U.S. and its allies. But President Trump projecting confidence.
They're still lobbing some missiles. At some point, they won't even be able to do that because we're hitting all of their carriers, we're hitting all of their missile stock.
And now, amid questions about the president's endgame in this conflict, there's word that a successor to Ayatollah Ali Khamenei could be announced soon. The late Ayatollah's son is reportedly the frontrunner. Experts say his election could result in a continuation of his father's hardline regime. President Trump acknowledging such a risk.
The worst case would be we do this and then somebody takes over who's as bad as the previous person, right? That could happen.
Multiple reports, including from the Wall Street Journal, say the Trump administration is now considering whether to support groups inside Iran who are willing to take up arms and topple the regime. Those groups could potentially include the Iranian Kurds.